Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick so I just protected my stuff, so just one moment here. So just gonna bring that side of protected. It's super important. So this I can do this. And it's gonna be fine. So let's go and check the where I am at right now. I'm gonna do the same tests as I was doing. I show it black and white, 1900s. Oh shit, it's crisp blank, right? Check that later. Ford car, yeah. So, where's my project? So now we're able.
Hi, this is Kelly from Car Data Video, and today we're going to have a history lesson. Of all the automobiles that have ever been designed and built in the world, there's one that stands out as most significant above them all, and that's the Model T Ford. The Model T introduced mass production and single-handedly brought us from a horse and buggy level of technology to one where we had machines that were run by gasoline engines. Using a moving assembly line, Henry Ford was able to build these things in about 1/10 the time it took to build other vehicles by hand previous to the Model T. The Model Ts were simple, they were rugged, they were cheap, and as Henry Ford used to say, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. When they were first introduced in 1909, they sold for $950, which doesn't sound like much to us today. Back then, that was quite a lot of money. Henry Ford cleverly paid his employees $5 a day, which back then was a huge amount of money compared to other jobs that they could get. He also reduced their workday from 9 to 8 hours, but again, by doing that, he could have 3 production shifts working and hence build cars around the clock. All of this was going on at a time of economic difficulty and transition, and so the result of this is people would come from all over the country to get jobs working in Detroit at the auto factories, and of course their job of choice was with Ford. Production of the Model A's went for 19 years, from 1908 to 1928. And the last ones that were built that weren't very much different from the very first ones that he originally produced. They had wooden spoked wheels with metal rims pressed on them. You can see here what they're doing is hand filing the spokes to make them smooth so they can be painted. The engine was a ridiculously simple, by today's standard and light, 177 cubic inch, which is 2.9 liter, 4-cylinder engine, which produced 20 horsepower. The vehicle weighed about 1,200 pounds, depending on which body style you got, and would be good for about 40 to 45 mile an hour top speed, and it had 2 forward gears. The assembly line was split so that the frame and the wheels and tires and everything were assembled at one point, and then the bodies were assembled separately, and then at one point the body would be dropped onto the frame. Over the years, an enormous number of body styles were created. You had a touring car, a roadster pickup, a ton truck, a closed cab ton truck, a coupe, a 2-door, a 4-door, a center door, a station wagon, and a convertible. Pretty versatile vehicle. Eventually the Model T was replaced by a Model A, which was a modernized, stylized version of a vehicle that looked quite the same. Highland Park was the first modern assembly plant, and it's where the Model Ts were produced. And just like today, when they're done being assembled, they're driven off the assembly line. But look at these vehicles as they come out. Look at all the different body styles, many of which we read, and these are all just different versions of Model Ts. Finally, after 19 years of production, Henry Ford had actually built almost 15.5 million Model Ts. And they were by far the most popular and most plentiful vehicle on the road. And here you can see the assembly of the 15 millionth, which is a 4-door convertible model, And as you can see, they've added some paint colors other than just black, and that actually is Henry Ford there, driving off the assembly line and driving in that 15 millionth Model T Ford. This particular one hadn't gone through final assembly quality control. You can see how Henry had to give a little nudge there to get it shut properly. To start a Model T, you had to hand crank it, but because the engine wasn't very big and it was low compression, all it would take was about a half a turn and it would fire right up. Back then, riding in a car was an occasion. It was a big excursion. It was fun. Just the ride itself was quite entertaining. Keep in mind that going somewhere in a car was probably 10 times faster than going by horse or buggy, which is what they were accustomed to before. Back then, cities were just developing and most of the roads were terrible, especially the country roads. And so the Model T had to be built in such a way where it could handle anything all the way from no road to city roads, and it actually did a very good job of that. Most of the country roads were mud roads or dirt roads, and in the city there were no snow plows. If it flooded, you had to ford it, and so you just had to deal with all the stuff, and the Model T was miraculous at being able to handle almost any road condition you could imagine. So here you've got the original Ford Model T, the great-great-great-grandparent of most every car you see on the road today. This is Kelly from Car Data Video.
This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by Skillshare, home to over 20,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill. The Ford Model T was not the first car, not even close. Depending on how you define what a car is, that honour was achieved 100 years before Henry Ford was even born in 1769, when French engineer Nicolas Joseph Cugnot created this steam-powered vehicle designed to travel off-rail. The honour for the first true automobile goes to Carl Benz, founder of Mercedes-Benz in 1885, with this single-piston two-stroke gasoline-powered vehicle. The art of the automobile was well under development before Henry Ford hit the scene. No, Ford did not invent the automobile. He invented something much more profound. He created modern society. That is a massive...
Let me just start void expense here and see if we've got the same issue happening. If we do, then the stride issue is still happening. I thought it was a problem with the full screen. Ah, shit. So we still have that issue happening. Well, it's going to be a demo of failure then. What can I say? So yeah, it looks like it's still complete trash here. So in the CPU usage, we've got the here 13% CPU, better than over 20, and a 50% GPU approximately. And we're in DirectX stride issues, GPU. So if I put it inside of a thread though, so I've got more lag because of that. And inside of the Oculus Rift now, I'm going to do the same test, although nothing works. I'm using the same code as I was before, but it works when I'm capturing somehow. When I'm capturing the whole screen, it works. But when I'm with SharpDX, it works. But somehow with this new setup, and it lags inside of the Oculus Rift when there's plenty of faces like this. So it still works as a desktop, but not as a desktop capture. Just got to reactivate my SharpDX solution here. Oops. Here texture is nothing. Just check my shit here. Back up, 24th Feb 2022. Check the screen frame. Associated resource. Now let's reactivate package here. Things. This here. Here, the sheet resource. Screen frame, actually. Yes, turn that off. I don't capture from that anymore. So it should work now. At least for screen capture. Virtual desktop screen capture. Should. Oh. Not working yet, so one moment. So I am receiving. Let's check this again. So what's the problem? Oh. Screen capture, which is gonna move it here, here. Do that. Maybe. Let's try that. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's why I'm capturing the window. That's not gonna work. One second. That's not gonna work. Actually, don't worry. That's what the fuck is this? So, element here. not supposed to capture anything else but screen right now. So, not too sure what the heck is happening. Let's create another device here. Device for screen capture here. Oh, I'm in VR. One sec. Wow. It's fine earlier still. Let me put that there. I need to buffer that. Problematic though. Let's do it like that. Check it out. I don't think that's gonna work either. Okay, so guess we have that. So we're just gonna check there. Wow. I really didn't expect to have a strike bugging in my face the whole time on that side. Ah, shit, are you serious? Is it even going here? Sorry about this. Anyway, so I posted on Patreon a little bit of what I was doing, but I noticed that void expanse was actually inverted. The heat maps was inverted. So it's never coming here. Is it coming here then? What the heck? Never coming here either. Huh. What the hell? Turn that shit off. Third. Yeah. So, what is going on? What the null? How the heck could it be null? Huh. Test the 0, test 1, test 2. Just one more. Try that again. Has in it. So. Heck. 0 only. Not recognizing hazard. Let's remove that. Temporarily. Not sure what the heck. Okay, so here. Not sure why it doesn't recognize it did recognize it now for some fucking reason. Oh, no, it's not what I wanted to capture. Anyway, it doesn't. So, main screen, so that it's still the same junk then. Still the same junk as before. If I don't use my new MIT source there, resource for the screen capture. I have to put that in windowed mode, and only able to see the main desktop. So there's no way right now to use the Oculus Touch. I've removed the code, but that I'm going to re-add it at some point, very soon. And it lags when I'm using the Oculus Rift to move things around. The performance is better though using the DirectX rendering. In a couple minutes, I'm just gonna see again if the stride is bugged or not. I've been wondering if there's a way, another way, to use the shader resource and capture the byte array colors from the shader resource. And here there's nothing because the screen capture is removed. So just one moment here. Let's do this here. So it was slow, but the performance is still better because I'm not drawing twice. So still able to display live heat maps. Just move a window to see the speed actually. Where is it? It's not that much faster. Actually, I'm not really impressed. So I'm not really impressed by the speed, but otherwise it's able to display the entirety of the desktop image, whatever is on the desktop. But I don't know how to choose a specific window. The SharpDX screen capture. Don't know how to do that yet. And if I would go and put less faces, much less faces. Let's increase the speed here. Faces, be able to have much better performance. Still, you would be able to view the heat maps on the desktop. But, oh, it's lagging still. No, I didn't expect the lag though, because I had a good performance earlier. The other day's fast. Anyway, so it's pretty much the same as the other version that I had released. Better. I would say better hierarchy, maybe, than what I was doing before. And the main script now, the main load up script, that's where I put more, let's say, the entering point to my other functions. Normally I was just creating a script there and I wasn't looping that much. I was just looping in order for the thing to stay activated, to recuperate, like loop my data without having my update script working every loop anymore. I was doing that in the script DirectX. Right here, I was using like a huge thread here, but I've commented it out, and I was putting my update script inside of here. So I've changed that. Now it's inside a program because I was having some issues with the whole screen capture somehow, and my project entirely wasn't working anymore. So we're just gonna put that still to 0. Thread select. We're gonna do the same here. Again, it's already at 0. Oh, I don't have it in thread. Oh, it's not inside of a thread right now. Let's put it inside of a thread for the right buffer. So we should have a better performance here without all of the faces showing. Let's select that even though it doesn't work. Screen capture right now. So now we've got a better performance. Okay. So that's 1920 by 1080 resolution. And if I would go and increase the resolution, I have some issues still with the byte. So let's just check the performance within a thread. Let's choose a way to explain it so it doesn't work. So my project is so it's right here. So 11%, 10% CPU, 24% GPU. There's no optimization done or anything like that. So, like I said, I can view all of the heat maps, whatever is on the desktop. And if we put a texture on, it's not going to change anything with the performance because I'm already building the shader resource. I just have to change this line here and use rebuild. But I'm trying some shader tricks now because the faces are rotated 45 degrees on the desktop and on the pixel shader. So when they're rotated 45 degrees and that there's no other faces on each side of each voxels, well, we see through. So that's why we see the faces. So I was trying to do like flaps, and although they would be displaced of one unit each, that instead of being at 45 degrees, that they would be looking straight at the player, so we wouldn't see that. Now that the shader resource is not working, so that's a problem. Let me check the code. I don't know why again. What is it that I did? Here it is. Description. Turn that down. Makes sense. Let me create it on the same device. That might be the issue. Okay, so use the same device. Creating a new one. Faster. Okay, so now we have the same device, but we can see that you know, the faces are displaced quite a lot. Still, we're able to see the heat maps there. So my trick that I want to do, I'd still need though to have the pixels or the voxels able to rotate, you know, and aim at the player like a what's the name of that? Just 1 second here. And 6040 master deck. Sprite kind of rotation. Billboarding. So the billboard rotation with the voxel. So I didn't do that yet, and because of that, we see through. We see through, but it's much less laggy to use only one face, the face that is showing towards the player. So except for that, let's see. Let me just add a little bit of effect if I can change, if I can do that here. The effect of the light. It's not much of much effects, but I just want to see the difference. Lighting. We're gonna check the performance at the same time. So this one here, about 13%. So we see better colors, just a little bit better colors here. Dark. Maybe it's not that bad. Let me just see writings. You can decipher the writings. So yeah, it's not that bad to view that. So let's do now the capture bugs. So in order to do the capture of the bugs, so here I'm just gonna write that one full set of stuff. Set of stuff. And here is this and still actually I'm gonna put that inside of a switch. Let's leave that there for 2 seconds. And, now I'm still able to capture. So here. Just see if I'm copying shader resource. Yeah. So yeah, there's something wrong with this stride. I have no clue what it is. Shoot. So when something is diminished though, this part of the screen capture, it doesn't work. We're gonna start it again. Let's try white expense to see if it bugs. That was white expense, that was diminished. So stop diminishing things, minimizing. Yeah, so texture somehow, the shader resource coming from that new capture is fine. you know, the shader resource, which is the texture. It makes sure that the texture is displayed. But sometimes the height maps that I'm building out of the texture array of bytes, the colors that I receive, it's building it fine, and sometimes it's not. So I have to build two textures, one for the shader resource, which displays the colors fine, and I have to build another texture in order to retrieve the bytes. And that one is not working fine all of the time with that new method of capturing the windows, but it's the only way that I know now, capturing the windows, and that doesn't lag. So yeah, I'm not sure that it was going to be fine, because I'm using the same code that I was using before, the code that I had learned from Andrzej Benedict, the AB3 DX Engine Studio there. It's the same thing. It's this part here, well, I modify and add this, delete the PTR. This part here is the same thing as before. Nothing's changed. And it's not working anymore with that new method of capturing. So I would have to review the code, I guess, of how and this is from the Mika user Mika something Micah on GitHub that has released the .NET window capture set of capturing solutions here. So I've tried the desktop duplication. This is the same. This is SharpDX, but somehow, although it's sending in PTR, I don't see how it's used. You know, because I'm only able to capture desktop. I've tried to capture a specific window by changing some settings, and nothing worked. Really nothing at all. So right now I'm using this one, WM shared surface. It's using some native functions, some p invoke stuff. Maybe it's inside of one of these codes here that to this here. So gotta use the window picker, and then pick capture target, which when I'm selecting the window there, and once that's done, get the DX shared surface here, and printing that to a oh, let me put that actually now. Like that. Okay, just try it like this here. Building a new shader texture source every time. Description every time. Nah, it's not working still. Yeah. Test another thing. This and calculate. Let's try it every time. Oh, it's still buggy. Nothing is working here. Very annoying. Very annoying. Disgusting. So it's better right now how I built my engine, but it's there's still so much work left. I don't even have a menu. I don't have nothing, and I still didn't go in the DX engine to build the entirety of my engine so that it doesn't lag as much in virtual reality. But except for that, I'm quite satisfied, I would say, with all the changes that I did, except for that stride issue I have to work on. Not sure if I'll ever be able to fix this. And I might have. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna go and download. So GitHub Sharp DX. Download Sharp DX entire. Okay. And for the Direct 3D11 one. Screen capture. How am I going to screen capture here? Can find it. Still wanted to have that, so now that I have that, it's great. I don't know how I'll be able to fix this, even if I'll ever be, like I was saying. I don't even know where the code is going anyway. But let me check. DirectX assemble. Again. No, start up. Desktop and screen capture. It's using DXGI and Sharp DX. So output duplication. We're just gonna go there. Duplication is DXGI. So try acquire next frame. Oops. Inside of source again. So Sharp DXGI and output duplication. Try acquire next frame. So I'm gonna check that code when I'm offline. And see if there's, I can add like a specific window. I'm sure it's gonna be super hard. Be a huge trick for that. And except for that, test it out now again. Just that full screen. Full screen. I'm just gonna go full screen windowed. Earlier, kind of. For us, I mean, kind of, fix the stride issue for void expense. Oh, so it works now. So, I don't know why. There's a little bit of lag here. Well, I'm creating a new So we're gonna reactivate that switch here. Reactivate that switch here. Just try it out like that. And show the yeah. So there it is. That's just one, you know, the front face showing. So the performance. 60%, 30% GPU, 50%, 60% CPU there, and reactivating all of the faces. Here and here. Let's do this again. So there's obviously plenty of things to fix. So I'm not using the white background in order to transfer that to a black background inside of the game. So there's plenty of visual effects there, simply because of the heat maps and the voxels close up. There's no there's no rotation to the voxels, so it's not super hot because of that. Sorry about that. Now let's test virtual reality. There we go. So we see the same thing here. Okay, no texture though, and lag in the heat maps displayed on the screen. But that's with the full face, with the full set of faces. With less faces, and I just want to try this. And I can change the code a little bit to. I was able to have a little bit less lag when I was putting things in more threads than just one, so that the work was divided. So it lags less than when I posted my stuff there. In this example, also the texture of the heat maps are correctly placed and not inverted like what I posted on Patreon, but it's lagging. I really don't like the lag, but like I said, in virtual reality I'm gonna have to switch engine completely there, because I don't know of any other way, and draw it in WPF. So we're just going to do another test here since we have that ability. We're just going to first deactivate all of the faces, and we're going to try to capture the video of YouTube, the internet page. So that's it here. Oops. So I selected it too late to bring it up. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So I can't capture any other window but gaming window. That sucks. So might have to work on the SharpDX, see if there's anything that I can do to capture with SharpDX. So it doesn't work. can't capture at least with the same code that I'm capturing void expanse. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. So let's see if I can capture the Oculus client. Nope. Can't capture the Oculus client. Let's see if I can capture well, actually it was so let's try the Oculus client again. Nope. Not working. So let's test OBS. And let's see if it works. Oh yes. So we got a stride issue here. And let's test now that I've bugged the stride on OBS, let's check what expense again. Let's see if the stride is bugged. No, the stride is not bugged. So, really don't understand what's going on with the stride. Feels like when it's not full screen that it's bugging. So let me see here. Load it. And we're just gonna put that like that. And now it bugged inside of there. So let me try it again. First time that I tried it wasn't like that. I was able to capture it. Unless it was like that when I didn't notice it. Oh look, now this. Oh, so that's the problem. So that's when it's not full screen. Well, it wasn't like that. I'm sure it wasn't like that in the beginning. Imagine that. So that would be go. So I gotta do a windowed borderless. So that might be the issue all that time with void expanse. Yeah. Great though. It would really be great. Oh, well, it works now. It was the only problem. So that might be the problem. Maybe. And for the other applications, I have maybe they've got an anti-hook kind of a thing there. Let's see for Steam. Capture. Let's see. So I'm able to capture that, and the options at the top. Is that what I understand? Yeah, we got the button VR. It's not able to capture a lot though. Yeah, friends icon. And whatever else is shown, it's not able to capture. Store, library, community. Well, okay. So that's it, I guess, for the demo. Am I going to upload this version on GitHub? Really lame. There's nobody that's actually downloading things. I got no use all the time. Restream on YouTube. I got no comments anywhere on the Patreon, so not really. It doesn't feel that urgent for me to upload anything. It's not like I got plenty of fans waiting. If there are, I don't know who they are. They're not making themselves really that much visible. So it's really for Microsoft Edge to not be capturable. Maybe Firefox or Google Chrome are capturable. Let me install Google Chrome stuff. Chrome download. Here. We're gonna put that in English. So where's the option? So English Canada. So let's install that. Take that page. Just one last test, and after that maybe Chrome. See if there's
Claim, but this episode of Real Engineering.
So we're gonna try that. That would be great. In fact, that's Steam. Plug Steam, but I'm not able to. Let's see if we can capture Chrome.
This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by Skillshare, home to over 20,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill. The Ford Model T was not the first car, not even close. Depending on how you define what a car is, that honour was achieved 100 years before Henry Ford was even born in 1769, when French engineer Nicolas Joseph Cugnot created this steam-powered vehicle designed to travel.
Download Firefox. Try it. Oh, it was right there. So discard the other one. Okay. Let's see if we can capture that. Otherwise, it's not fetching maybe the right. Maybe it's not fetching the right handle. To try that. Let's try this. So not working either. So let's stop that. So unable to get a browser. Let's see if we can get a heat maps. A PNG. Well, more like Windows Photos app. So that would be able to select that or something. It's not an app. It's let's try again. Completely unable. Let's see if we can grab Veer. We can't grab a Veer. So it seems to be really locked to some applications, but I was able to also view vector inside my earlier version. Let's see now if we can grab this one, although it's supposed to be windowed instead of full screen. Here, Factorio. Whoa. So not working. This. We just check graphics. So normally at full screen, and then at non-full screen. Let's check again. Doria. This. Resolution. Let's try it again. Seek. Screen capture. Profile is working. Hopefully. I don't know. Let's try it. Avoid expense. It's like locked expense. Oh. Let's try this one. So profile. So profile issues also. So go here. Looks great in heat maps. Looks really cool. So once we're going to be in view a little bit of the inside of the game. And, I think I'm going to stop. Wait!